What up, what up, what up?
Hello, friends. We are live. We are back. We're Black and Curious.
What's good? It is Jasia behind this blue screen for a reason, and let me show you.
Oh, God. While she does that, I got to grab my charger.
So, just a little quick backstory. Your girl had her eyes dilated today, and my eyes are still fucked up, for lack of better ways to describe it. So while Kendra is off screen doing whatever, we're gonna go ahead and hit our intro and get into the madness right after. Yay! Hope you guys like the new intro.
Yay.
I'm sitting here looking like Stevie Wonder tonight.
Wow, these dilated pupils, child.
I'm like, we have, so me and Kendra share a shared experience with the life of living within astigmatism. And so, like,
that experience, because I was about to say, my eyes are 100 times worse than yours, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, but
the astigmatism is the same.
Girl, okay? And like with them having dilated my eyes and they use something else, I forgot what it's called, but it's yellow when you blot it away. So like my vision is still like in the trash. But all that aside, what you drinking, sis?
Oh, I am drinking the Mary J. Blige. What's that brand called? I don't know.
I can see it in my mind.
I just looked at the bottle. Anyways, the Mary J. Blige wine. Drinking the Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, Sun Goddess.
Sun Goddess.
So I am having my Cabernet Sauvignon from Mayomi. The bottle is actually sitting here with me because a bitch can't see for real. So we're trying to keep it cute.
Like, oh God. As usual, all of our beauty and, well, beauty's gonna be minimal, child.
Ain't no beauty today, baby. She got on a gloss.
That's all I only got on a gloss, and y'all know I be giving y'all the same face week in and week out. So whatever little piece of beauty details we have will be down below, as well as timestamps, because this is a reality recap, so it's gonna be long. So yes. Timestamps, skip to your favorite shows. They'll be down in the description box. Where would you like to?
This right here is dedication to the craft, because your girl was laid out in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go with, did you watch the reunion for Love and Marriage Huntsville, right?
Did I?
Okay, let's do it. Let's start there.
Baby, let me tell you something. Carlos King can do all the reunions henceforth for all the reality shows, down to Bravo. He can be down to everywhere. Carlos was asking the hard-hitting questions, okay?
The real questions that need answers.
Baby, Carlos did not pull one single punch. Every piece of background knowledge he had, he used to craft the proper questions that the people want to know.
Okay. I'm like, at first I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Not the fist pump of righteousness. At first I was like, okay, so this is going to be interesting, considering that he's been in the background this whole time. But once he started like doing his rounds like Andy, like popping in to see everybody, it was clear that it was some discomfort with Tisha and Marceau and Martell.
Absolutely.
For him being the host.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad.
By the end, I was tweeting out Carlos the MF King. Okay?
Okay, he did that. He did. He did what needed to be done.
That. Whew.
So
who shall we begin with?
I'm just gonna jump right into the ultimate question that he asked, which is that of Martell and calling out a thing basically by stating that you were out here tipping that around into the pandemic, into the outside world to go see your mistress, not because you know she just out here laying low and spreading it wide for you, because you actually have feelings for this woman. So is that the case? And the way he sat there and was dead silent for so long, and Kimmy took the words right out of my mouth. Kimmy was like, the silence is deafening. Like, yeah, you in love with this girl. Like, stop sitting here trying to act like you don't care about her and like she's not a priority to you, because evidently she is if you was tipping out into the pandemic to go see this girl.
And when Carlos had me at, first of all, he had me at hello. But when he started, when he was like, the gyms wasn't open, I was like, Carlos King.
Right. What gym was you going to?
What gym was you going to? All the gyms was closed.
Matter of fact, I think he made mention, he said that she was the gym. Didn't Carlos say something like that?
No, he said, well, what else was open that you was going to see or going to do?
Poom poom. Yo, I'm looking at myself. I look so fucking crazy with these glasses on. Whatever. Back to the
Carlos was getting to the heart of the matter, man.
I'm not mad. I am very much here for it. He kind of gave like a soft-handed whatever to Tisha about her not getting into the commentary on the socials.
Yeah.
And she's alleging that she no longer is on Twitter and whatever else have you. But it's like, okay, you may not be on there, baby, but you still, I feel like she's still checking and she still want to know what's what, like what people are saying.
Yeah, definitely. Why somebody at least is telling her like what's going on.
Right. And my thing is like, why else would you be so unnerved about what is being said about your marriage? Because remember when the conversation came up about allegedly Marceau and Melody having some sort of thing. And having gone to get drinks or whatever when the shit hit the fan the first time between Mel and Martell. She was like a fucking tennis ball going back and forth. Like, so who said what? And you did what with who and where? Like, girl.
And the whole
very uncertain about your relationship.
Very. And the whole situation with Marceau and Mel, it puts some perspective to know that Melody's mom was working for Marceau.
Yeah.
So that like gave me a little bit more understanding as to like, even before we were just kind of like, I don't remember when we said it. It was like early in the season. I think you were saying that you wouldn't have been surprised if they had dipped. And I was like, no, it just seemed playful to me. Like, go ahead, whatever. And so it makes sense that they have that relationship, that
playful banter.
That banter, and like that Miss Van was the one that called and was like, please get them people before they kill each other. And Marceau actually was doing his part. And so for Martell to try to spin that, like Martell does everything to try to avoid responsibility. And for him to try to spin that, well, like, I didn't really appreciate you going out with my wife, or even if y'all just met at Chick-fil-A, getting Chick-fil-A with my wife. Well, your reason why all of that was occurring was because you couldn't keep your dick in the home.
Hello? Like, none of this would have happened. And like, not only that, but had he answered that phone call with the girl that was blowing the phone up, maybe she wouldn't have been outside.
That's right.
Because you could have squashed it. You could have answered that phone and been like, say some BS, some man logic, and lie to the girl and lie to your wife or whatever the case may be, and then dead the conversation. No, you decided to like have this whole no accountability, no, like, I mean, you can't even lie right. Like, come on, Martell.
Cannot.
I'm like, dang, homie. And you talking about all this stuff that he was telling Melody about how he had spoken to the old men. And basically her point, and I appreciated that point where she was like, it wasn't so much that I left because of the other woman. It was because he was telling me that, yeah, he was having these conversations with the old heads, but he was having the conversations with them to learn how to be better at his infidelity.
Like there was never going to be changed behavior, because the conversations that he was having was the old black conversation that we were talking about, I think maybe 2 episodes ago, where it's just like, well, as long as he come home at night, and it don't seem like he was really even doing that. But as long as he provides, as long as he comes home at night, then, you know, even if he stay out 2, 3, 4 hours, we don't know where he at during the pandemic, like, and then his side chick show up pregnant, it's all good. It's supposed to be fine as long as.
Oh, look like we're a little frozen. Soon as Sister Kendra pops back in, we can reconvene.
Well, I feel like that's what they were talking about when she was like, well, Martell told me I needed to go talk to the older women. Like that was the conversation that the older women were going to have with Mel.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have to start that over, though, because you got cut off and you were frozen in this position.
Okay. Well, I was just saying, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, like the old, especially old Southern Blacks, that conversation, don't break up your home over some girl, you know, work it out. As long as he comes home at night and provides, then don't worry about what else he's doing. Yeah. And it's like, that's the conversation that Martell wanted Mel to receive. And she said no, like, and that's
her right.
Trash. That's really trash. Like they're still living in a time where women live like that. And like the rest of the world is like, what? Not the rest, but many of us.
Majority of us.
Like, nah, we're not going back there. We're not going back there.
The other thing too, like I look forward to the next episode because I'm curious as to if what's his name, Carlos, will be able to get Martell to take any accountability, because the way he set that question out there, I wonder though, like the way he set the question out there, because it was not like it wasn't a dig, it was just very direct versus everybody else in these roundabout ways of asking questions. Like,
sure,
Carlos asked the question that needed to be asked on the first reunion.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Martell saying he regrets doing this on TV. I'm like, you regret getting caught on TV because Mel got embarrassed. Otherwise, y'all might still be together.
Yeah, and I totally think that they would still be together if this had not been televised for the world to see. If she did not have public embarrassment, she probably still would have been in that relationship. Because the thing of the matter is, she left and came back. And understandably, like, you know, you do what you got to do or whatever you think is best for you and your family. But this had already gone on and had been going on for quite some time.
Yeah.
By the time she found out about it. And then for them to be on this show for what, a solid 2.5 years or something like that. And it to still be happening, like, baby girl, if this shit was not on TV, she wouldn't have left him. I don't think so. Yeah. She says that she would have, but I don't believe that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because her logic about the whole him not changing and he's never gonna do better. Something about that really.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that, but I think that her walking in that understanding and moving differently would have taken a lot longer had she not been embarrassed publicly.
Yes, like we might have been. The kids might have been like, the youngest would have been like 10, and the oldest would have been 18, and she would have been like trying to leave at that point.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, it's the public embarrassment of it all, the public outcry of Black women everywhere watching this show, wanting her to leave this man and saying how horrible he is, and then her being able to watch all of this shit back. Like, yeah, that's hard that's a heavy weight to carry, especially like even just talking about Tisha, you know, the town crier, basically, like with her receiving all the backlash that she's gotten over the years and how it's kind of crumbled her down, you know, like, or not crumbled, but broken down her confidence or pseudo confidence. Cause I don't know that she was ever really confident.
Yeah. Just before we move on from Mel and Martell, Carlos also got to the bottom of the Mel cheating thing.
Oh, that was so much.
It was specific.
That
It
was
was
so
really
much. This
specific.
whole back and forth about whether or not sis was sucking dick in a hotel room or an apartment or on a park bench or
Well, it seems like
wherever.
Martell is saying that's the reason why, that was part of the reason, or something she wasn't doing within the marriage that he really wanted. So that's why he had to start going outside of the home to get that need.
He was already outside of the home.
Oh, he's ridiculous. But that was like super specific. And I still don't think Mel cheated. If y'all were separated, she moved out of the home. You guys were no longer functioning as a unit. And she was seeing other people. Whether or not y'all came back together, like, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, y'all were separated at the time, and she had a right to be able to move on with her life. And also, I think Kimmy is the one that said this, and I just started repeating it. It's like, you people love to start in the middle of stuff. And it's like, that's the thing that pisses me off the most about Martell. It's like, he is always starting in the middle. Well, Mel did this. Well, Mel did. Everything started, your life started to fall apart. And everything with Mel started because you were having sex with other people in your, like, with outside of your marriage. Like, that is what all of this is. That is the root of all of this. Mel started messing around with other people because y'all were separated because you stepped outside of the marriage.
Bottom line, you're the common denominator, Martell.
Yeah, like, you don't get to have all of these feelings about, well, she cheated too. Well, she didn't. No. You guys were separated.
It's ridiculous. Like, this narrative that he's created in his mind to justify his own actions, it's dumb. Because the thing is, if you felt like she had cheated and did all this stuff to you and was also equally unfaithful, why is it that we're hearing about her so-called infidelities long after yours have come up to the surface and been put on Front Street?
Not to mention, Martell is a very, very small and petty man in his soul. And if Mel really actually cheated on him, and that was the domino that got everything rolling, he would not be there. He would have left the marriage.
Hello, would have been already out there with his side chick or whomever else.
And whomever else.
Martell Hope. Moving along from the two of them, let's talk Kimmy and the Scotts, basically. I'm so sick to death of this storyline about her allegedly being the side chick. I'm also even more equally disappointed in Maurice, because when Carlos asked him a direct question as to why he never defended his wife to shut all of this shit down from the jump, he was like, I mean, he made some irrelevant, like,
he did the same thing Marceau does. It's like, it's not true, and I can't even dignify that with a response. And it's like,
with an answer, and I'm like, do you know how fucking dumb you sound? Your wife is on national television, upset and constantly fighting this ongoing battle between your family members and your ex-wife as to whether or not what her status was in the middle of you all's demise from your relationship. So, like, she's obviously upset if she's constantly having to defend herself. And the idea that you, Maurice, don't say anything, ultimate disrespect. Kimmy deserves you to stand up in front of the world on this show and let them know what the truth is. And it would seem to me that the truth of the matter is that she was a side chick and didn't fucking know it, which is why you don't ever say anything.
I don't think she was a side chick. I think it was a gray space. I think Kimmy sort of said that at the end. Like, because they weren't, the thing about it is, he left Michigan with where Kiowa was, right? It seemed like there was a 6-month wait, like what we talked about. I think it was either last week or the week before. There was a 6-month wait that you have to be legally separated before you can proceed with the divorce. He moved from Michigan and never saw Kiowa in a marital type of fashion again. Moved down to Huntsville or Atlanta or wherever he was, and that's when he started getting to know Kimmy. And he probably
that allegedly it wasn't even then. He left Michigan and left the marriage, and the papers and all that stuff signed, came down to Atlanta, sold his royal oats, came to Huntsville, continued to sell his royal oats, and then he met Kimmy.
Well, we don't know how long he sowed his royal oats.
Right, but this is what they're saying. Like, that's how the story is. Well, not they. This is what he is saying, and that Kimmy is seeming to reiterate because she believes her man.
Well, because even with that, it seemed like even Kimmy was saying the papers were filed, the marriage was over, the two people had moved on from each other. There was no hope of reconciliation, and we started dating. And I feel like maybe he sold his royal oats for a few months wherever, and they started dating at the tail end of the separation / divorce once the divorce was underway. And basically Kimmy said she thinks that Kiowa feels that because Kimmy was in the mix, that it stopped them from being able to reconcile. But I don't think there was any reconciliation to be had.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I don't think he was divorced when they started dating. I do believe there was overlap, but the side chick thing is, I feel like that is very specific. Like a side chick is when you're in two full relationships at the same time. That's like a Martell situation. His relationship was over and he was just waiting for paperwork.
But the thing is, like, then he should just have said that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. He definitely should have.
Because this constant, like, arrogant, well, we know the water is wet, so like, who needs to address that? Like that, you sound stupid.
Just say that. Just be like, we started dating as I was waiting for my divorce to be finalized. Done. And nobody in their right mind is going to say, okay, that means she was a side chick. It's like, no, you guys were already getting a divorce. The papers were signed. You were living apart. There was no reconciliation.
Hello? I'm just over it. I'm so disappointed in Maurice for the fact that he does not, he is often the voice of reason on this show. And in this instance, he's just not doing anything. He's not saying anything. And it's like, do we need Dr. Francis to come in and tell you, sir, you need to defend your wife? Because even if she's capable of doing that shit herself, which we all know that Kimmy is very capable. At the end of the day, you are her husband. She shouldn't have to. This is a situation that involves you directly and what you did or did not do. So you need to speak to that.
Yeah. Not to mention, whenever it's time to defend the husbands, Kimmy and Tisha also are both on the front lines. Whether the husbands are right or wrong or whatever else is going on, they're like, we handle that in private. If you're wrong, we handle it in private. But in front of company, we are united front. And the fact that neither of them, Marceau nor Maurice, reciprocate that is very annoying to me.
I agree. It's super stupid. Like, what, like, but that is also an ongoing thing amongst the community as it relates to Black men and Black women. Often we ride hard for them and they don't do the same for us.
Hard agree.
Let's talk about the outfits because Tisha and Marceau was born.
What was they wearing?
Tisha was like a candy corn.
It did. It wasn't giving for me. It didn't give for me.
The hair was bad. The clothes was bad. I was just
like, I liked Kimmy's look.
Kimmy looked good.
Yeah.
But Melody looked a mess.
Melody.
I'm so sick of these wigs. Like, please wear your hair. Because it just looks like hat hair.
Melody is just, she's just country. Like,
I mean, that dress was giving me Dynasty. The dress
that's what I mean. It was very much like Dynasty, very much like the more bling, more stuff on the dress. And then it has to be stiff on the side, and the wiring that was holding it up was showing. It was just like, okay, all right.
It's just a mess. Like,
wasn't great.
The Martell looked good as he always does. His clothes always be super tight, but he still looked good in that suit. And definitely, I love Carlos's outfit.
Yes, me too. Carlos was best dressed.
That color was beautiful.
To be honest.
The other gentlemen, they always come up there looking basic. And it look like they always in like a black tux. It don't never be nothing special. They don't never do no color. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to experiment a little bit. Like, Martell really be out here showing y'all up, even with his tight ass clothes.
Even with his tight clothes. Yeah. Even with his tight clothes, bless his heart. So I think that's it on Love and Marriage.
It is. What was before or no? You want to do Ready to Love next since we're doing OWN?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so I feel like this particular episode was boring.
Yeah, because I don't even remember it.
It was a filler. Like the gentlemen were supposed to introduce the girls to their ex-girlfriends, which I always think is a weird turn.
Same.
Like, why do you need to? Because like, how if you're that close to this person that's your ex, why didn't this shit work out? If you feel comfortable enough to bring a new potential to like be critiqued by them, like that's just awkward to me.
That's why I don't think that most of those people were their exes. I stand by it, especially not Walter. I don't know what.
Child.
I was like, that don't even look like your type, sir.
Not in the slightest. That's like a cousin, homegirl.
I was like, it's a homegirl. It's a homegirl at
clickety clicks. Like,
yeah. Maybe you know, friends with benefits at best.
I wouldn't even give it that because she was sloppy. No shade to the girl, but she just looked like she just had came from, you know, round the corner and they was like, let's get on this here show.
Like, it was just like for somebody who is that well like groomed and put together, I don't think that he dated that lady.
But you know what? It really be sometimes it be the ones that you think wouldn't that have and do, and like complete opposites. So in that regard, I can see it.
Yeah, in that regard, I can see it. But like, I also think there's a difference between like, you know, did you date or did you date?
Oh shoot!
So Aisha was missing from the episode completely, which I thought was interesting.
Who is Aisha?
The one that's from New York.
Phyllis that is all over the guy with the underbite. What is his name?
I don't know.
The one that had all the ladies last week. He had all the dates with the friends.
What's his face? Let me look the names up. I still don't know these people's names.
Anyway, well, he went on a date with Shiloh, Tasia, and some girl that was now she looked to be like they were still, you know, on again, off again.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Still cutting.
She was still incredibly invested in all of what was going on.
Okay, she was giving me, I'm gonna show you that I'm better than they are for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on, what is going on here? And like the questions that she was asking of the girls, I just thought it was awkward. I know that in previous seasons they have done that where the ex-girlfriend or the, you know, friend or whatever they introduced to the potentials, they do like an interview with them, but like to Tasia's point, it was just kind of like, girl, I'm not going to give you none of my business. I'm not dating you. We happen to be girlfriends, and I wasn't mad at that. Like, but that is what needs to be said, as opposed to you coming off as like super standoffish and like awkward, because it was seen that way. Like she was hella uncomfortable. Which she went home, right? Wasn't she the one that went home to see her? Yes. Yeah, it was her. Yeah. She was standoffish and didn't have no other matches. Nobody else was giving her no play. Which, you know what, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm always so aggravated with this show that they do the plus size girls like that, even though Tasia is not a true plus size girl. Like I wouldn't count her in the crew, but like for TV, she's considered plus size, and it's just kind of like y'all always play us to the left. You need to find men out there for these shows that really want to talk to the fluffy bitch, okay? Because like the hell, I'm just saying.
No, I agree with you.
It literally be like all these bodybuilder, anti, you know, curvy, thick women or whatever. Like they closeted, you know, big girl lovers.
Yeah. Well, I feel like in Houston, whatchamacallit got to the end, but she's still very like a traditional body shape. She just the one that was dating the guy from New Orleans.
Well, she's not a plus size girl either.
I didn't say she was plus size, but I do think she was like thicker than the other girls.
She was, but I think a lot of that's because she was short. And like if she was taller,
but that's what I'm saying. Like she was still, but she was still very much like Coke bottle shape, like very, hourglassy.
Mm-hmm. But that's different. She don't count either. Sorry, girl.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for who they had and who they cast, by comparison, especially by comparison to the girls that made it to the end of the Alexises and those type of girls, she was very curvy.
And indeed, I will give you that.
I'm not saying that she was like necessarily a big girl. I'm just saying she was curvy. Like she's very curvy.
On the spectrum.
Right. And I feel the same way about Tasia. And I feel like the way her attitude kind of like messed it up for her because she was just really standoff.
Real aggressive.
And Zadia can go next because she's nasty too.
Wears me out. I'm like, what is with why you got an attitude? What are you so angry about? Are you all having side conversations about one another and it's getting back to you? Because like, what is the story? Like she was chill, she was cool, she was one of the girlfriends until she wasn't.
Yeah.
And you don't really know why. Like, what's going on about you, girl?
And it got super ugly very, very fast. Like
it did.
It was just like, wait, what? Why are y'all arguing in the women's lounge?
And off of nothing. Off of nothing.
Off of nothing. Off of what is a list? And I was just like, all right.
And the hairstyles from the Bronx, I forgot, you said her name earlier. She was like, 2 things can be a list.
It was just like, okay, this is too much. I think I remember her name.
Aisha, yeah. So Zadia and Naeem's now she seemed like she might have been an ex.
Yes.
That was weird because like Zadia, but I think Zadia went on 2 dates, right? Where she
because she was with
Dante.
Was it Dante?
Yes, because he was like, she really seemed like she was trying to get the dirt because he had 3 kids, but 3 baby mamas.
Right, and it was Zadia was on one side and somebody else was on the other side. Who was that? Was it Tasia?
I don't think so.
No. Was it Shiloh?
I think it was Mumin. It was Mumin.
It was Mumin.
Mumin was just kind of like, I'm here to get to know who he is today. And that's what the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend was saying about the 2 girls, the difference. Yeah. Like Mumin is looking toward the future and the positives. Zadia is looking for the past, which, I mean, girl, if you basing your potential on what he did with somebody else, like,
yeah,
I don't know if that's a good idea. I just kind of feel like everybody is who they are, and they're going to show up however they do based on who it is that they are. Yeah. And like in this situation, you're going to have to ride this wave to see who it is that he says he is and who it is that he actually is in his actions. Like, does everything match? Yeah. Like the idea that you getting, something from the ex-girlfriend, you don't know if that she could be a bitter Betty. So like there are things that he didn't do for her that he might do for you.
Yeah.
There are things that he did, in that situation that he wouldn't do with you. Like it's also a matter of the things that you are willing to put up with and deal with and accept from a person that make a difference as to whether or not the relationship works out or doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a fine line because I definitely think past behavior can, predict future behavior, but it's definitely a fine line. Like you can't just be digging up everything in a person's past. Like, oh, look at all of this.
The thing is, if you've not experienced it, then you're always going to be seemingly looking to experience this thing that someone else said that this person does.
Right.
And if you're always waiting for the shoe to drop, then you're not ever really present in the moment to experience what's happening for you.
Correct. I also felt like for the first time, I was like, why didn't Mumin and Cornelius just get together? They're both the ones that are celibate. Like they're over here trying to push celibacy on everybody else instead of just being with somebody else who is celibate.
Girl, I mean, I feel you, but I feel like that damn crazy ass Camille swooped in there and put that shit on lockdown.
And she's nutty because she don't even want to be celibate. So what is wrong? What is the real problem here?
But I think that Camille sees through the smoke and mirrors that is Cornelius. Like, he talking about he ain't finna do all of that, but he will.
Lying. He is lying.
What is going on?
What else? Was that it for them?
What's the chick, the blonde chick that don't want no more kids? What's her name?
Oh, Sabrina.
I think Sabrina gets crazy, like the girls said, with the clickety clacks. Yes. I think that she gives crazy. I think that it's not like you really got to get up under the hood of that saying for you to see it. But once you get up under there, it ain't no getting out easily.
Yeah, she is. She's a little,
because she was too. It was like it was giving persnickety, but like I'm real chill. Like, I'm very direct. I'm, all of the, like, it was like zealous, I guess. Like, you're very super overconfident. And that's how she's shown up this whole season, though. So that might very much just be who she is and how she presents, which is why it's giving crazy.
It's giving crazy. All right. Shall we move on?
Yes. Where do you want to
go? Salt Lake City or Porsha?
Let's do Salt Lake City.
There wasn't much to say about them hoes.
Listen, they wore me the hell out last night. And like, when I tell you I was crying, that Mary is so crazy. Mary is just so weird. It's like she talks in this very soft, quick speech. And then be looking at you like you're the dodo bird, like you don't understand what's going on.
Mary had me dying like the whole episode. Then I was like, all right, Mary, you went too far. Why you have to say the part? That's how Mary is. It's like if she just stops a smooth 30 seconds before the end of her rant, she would get in so much less trouble and she would just be a riot. But like she always goes.
She said about the
far.
Oh, I was like, whoa, we're not saying this on television, and you are a minority. Like, how dare you disrespect my Mexican brothers and sisters? Shut the hell up.
But Mary is also the person, who was talking about Black people at the 7-Eleven. So, I'm
like, bitch, did you forget that you are Black? Like, what's going on?
Equal opportunity problematic.
Hello, I was just like, what is going on? Like, you have been super sheltered, evidently, because this idea that you believe that your own people is thuggerific, and now you calling out another ethnicity, a race of people, like, what's going on?
Mary is just like, I'm not even gonna say that.
Tax it to me, bitch. The
Mary
other
is just like, nah.
Is like, what is going on with Mary's face?
Don't know.
Because you know what I'm talking about, though, where you see like it's like right up in here, it's like ashy, and it's ashy because she's putting makeup over it. So whatever is right here is black.
Interesting.
Or very dark brown. And so it always looks like she just rubbed a little bit of soot on her face. Right up in here. And I'm like, what is going on with her face? And you don't always see it, though. Like, I think when she's actually getting her makeup done by like a professional, you don't see it when she's doing it herself. It's like, it's huge. It's like this hole right here.
Like, Mary, she was just a riot for me this episode. Like, her one-liners were she was just on. And she was just gathering them. And you know what the funny thing is? I was like, it is not lost on me. And I don't think it was lost on Mary either. That those white women plus Jenny sat around and they aired Jen out and got Jen out of the paint. Then they moved on to Mary, trying to air her out, talking about it's the same thing. It's not quite the same thing, but
it's a whole bunch of rumors about Mary from
right.
people in her church or people who are a part of her church community who have now left. That happens.
Yeah. And Jen has an indictment, a federal indictment. So that's different. And I'm just like, Jenny, while you sitting around, I hope you know that you next, because these white women are getting, they're plucking the girls of color one by one. And Mary was not having it. But the thing that really cracked me up about Mary was her giving them all her old stuff.
All this stuff that she had already bought.
Mary was like, I didn't even work.
Boots to Jenny. She gave a $5,000 bag to Heather.
She was like, Jenny was like, oh, you bought the boots? And she was like, they were already bought.
She was like, my luggage too heavy. I just figured it would lighten my luggage.
It was like Mary went through her closet. It was like, I didn't wear none of this stuff this year because we was in the house. I'll take these for the girls. They'll be happy to have them. Get it out of my house. Make some room for my this season stuff. That thing had me dying.
And Whitney's sitting there trying to act like she wasn't hurt that she didn't get no gift. Girl, why? You was hurt, sis. You was hurt, sis, because you was going around the circle asking everybody what they got.
And listen, a lot of the girls be trying to make alliances and doing the most. At least Mary had given a gift to try to get some alliance, okay? Some allegiance. I am here for it. The whole entire thing cracked me up. And then she was just kind of like, I didn't buy none of this stuff for y'all. Like, it's fine. It was at my house.
Saying that shit in the confessionals. I figured it would lighten my luggage because they had also gone shopping. So she had bought some more shit. So she needed to get rid of some things.
Mary was like, yeah. Once I just bought her better. Y'all can have these.
Mary is dying. Like she was going off. She was like, I can't help. I've dealt with this my whole life. I can't help that I was born into money. Like, and to her point, like, I feel you. But like you said on that, the Lucy we did a couple of months ago, Mary's one for the team. All that money that her grandmother had, and like trying to make sure it stayed in her family, she took one for the team.
Maybe
and I still want to know, like, get all in the business. How did grandma get all this money? How she become so wealthy? Like,
no, it seems like there's actually a episode of the Bravo docket. I love the Bravo docket about Mary's grandma and all of her wealth. Like, she got it legit.
Oh.
Like, she opened a bunch of businesses, like bought properties. Like, she got it legit. And had like a bunch of successful businesses outside of the church.
Well, that's fire. I mean, you don't never really hear of something like that for Black women, but also of that era. Mary is much older than we are.
Yeah.
At least in her late 40s, early 50s.
Definitely. Like at least probably her early 50s, I would think. But yeah, I think her grandma got it honest.
Well, that's what's up. I'm about to catch up to the shout out to the Bravo docket. I'm about to catch up to the Bravo docket episode and see what's tea. That damn Mary is funny to me, man.
She cracks me up.
Yes. I'm here for Jenny, who the new girl on the show, but she is seeing it for what it is. Yeah. And she said it in a couple of the confessionals, like the way that her friend who brought her into the circle, I think that's Meredith, right?
I think it was Meredith. I can't remember if it was Lisa or Meredith.
I don't know. Maybe it's Lisa. Because Meredith is both of them are from New York. Meredith is the one with the older son.
I think it's Lisa. I think it's Lisa because Lisa has the younger sons and
Yes.
Lisa
Okay.
was
Yeah.
taking the younger sons over to play with Jenny, or
Jenny's
have
sons.
time with Jenny's sons. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Lisa.
It is Lisa. So like she basically was calling out her friend, like, how is it that you sit here talking about all this tea that you got, but you will never say what the hell the tea is. You just bring it up and get everybody all riled up, and then there's never no conversation. Like, this is annoying. Now I can see why everybody is irritated with Lisa. The other thing too, skipping off of Jenny and heading into Miss Lisa girl, she is obnoxious because it's like Jenny said, like, if you're gonna bring it up, then you're gonna have to talk about it. If you're not gonna talk about it, then stop bringing it up. Like, be done. And then to constantly be like flipping out when she went off on Whitney, because Whitney basically said that she had a party and she invited the problematic friend that used to be a part of Mary's church and the rest of the girls, except for Mary. And then like she got all bent out of shape because that was told. But like, girl, if that's what happened, that's what happened. It don't mean that you had anything to do with the drama. This is just the drama happened at your event.
I agree.
Like, girl, why are you so up in arms? She ain't said that you did anything.
She did not. She did not. I continue to absolutely despise Whitney. I don't like, okay, this is real petty. This is very, very petty. I don't like her voice, for starters. And I'm petty enough to not like somebody because their voice gets on my nerves. But also her just like entitlement, like, we need to know. We have a right to know. Like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You don't have a right to know everybody's where everybody's bones are buried, all of the skeletons in their closet. You do not, in fact, have a right to know.
Business. Yeah.
Business. And this whole white woman, we have a right to. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I will say that Whitney took me down when Heather had dipped out because she was like, I'm not mad at Heather for that. Heather was like, I'm not taking any more emotional abuse from you ladies. Like, I'm done. I'm checked out. And she got up and she removed herself. Cool. I'm with you, Heather. But when Whitney went to console her and then she came back and was like, we're just going to go separately on another flight. And Lisa had said, well, like, this is part of the problem. Like, you should be able to sit down and we should hash this out so that we can come to some sort of understanding and so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. And Whitney's answer was just like, okay. He kept walking. When I tell you, that sent me, I was rolling. She just was like, okay. And turned around and went down the stairs.
I am not a Whitney fan.
I am not a Whitney fan either. Yeah. But that made me laugh. They are it's a whole lot going on. It's a train wreck.
A full train wreck. And that's it. I mean, honestly, they just keep harping on the same stuff over and over this season, and I'm kind of over it already. Like, we hit the season peak maybe too early, or like, I guess when Jen comes back, we'll have some more to talk about. But for now, it's just like, all right, we're finishing this. Fantastic. Or we're going to try to pull some skeletons out of Mary's closet.
Girl, you can pull some skeletons if you want to, and Mary gonna be right on the end of the skeleton, like, boo.
Man,
he even said what? I literally just could see her just holding on to the skeleton, like.
Mary just cracks me up. I don't know what else to say. She's highly inappropriate, but like, she cracks me up. What else do we have left? Porsha.
I missed the first 15 minutes. So what had happened?
Honestly, I don't know, because I don't remember, because I didn't finish last week's, so I watched last week's and it kind of ran all together. So I don't really remember. I know Lauren had met with Dennis, which I thought was weird. I mean, not weird, but it was just like the tone of their relationship is kind of weird. It didn't feel very, like, I don't know. It feels like it could turn on a dime.
So I was watching DJ Richie Sky today. Shout out to him. And he was talking about that Lauren had. Woo! I'm sorry, this took me down. He said that Lauren quit her job to be being Porsha's assistant to go and work on her spiritual journey. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, when he said that, I said, okay, well, that's why she's driving that Hyundai, however you say it. I was like, what is going on? Why is Lauren driving around in this family sedan and like her
but I think
wealthy and they equally own a business together?
Yeah, but I'm like, I mean, maybe she just don't care. Like I drive a pretty basic car that I don't have to drive. I just don't care.
True. Maybe. Like, because he
also has a child. She has a kid too.
No, I mean, but she could have. Never mind.
No, I'm just saying, like, she has a kid. I don't know if the funds that they have in the business may not be liquid. Like they co-own it, but they may not have liquid money coming in on a monthly basis, or like high enough dividends or whatever, however they're collecting money off of the business coming in on a regular basis. It could be quarterly, it could be whatever. So
I mean, she must be doing all right if she's able to leave her her position as Porsha's assistant.
That's what I'm saying. She's doing fine. And like, I feel like sometimes people get caught up in that kind of stuff. And it's like, no, she's actually, unlike a lot of people, she's actually making a smart decision to drive around in a little putt-putt around to get her and her child from point A to point B while she explores her other passions. Like, would she need to be pushing something expensive for?
I mean, you know, it could still be a regular family sedan, just maybe a Honda, a Toyota, or something a little nicer than
that. I drove a rundown Honda for way longer than I had to. And I drive it's not rundown, but it's like not new, not even recent. And I don't have to drive that either. But I don't like having car payments. So just drive it. Hold it against me. Hold it against me if you see me in the streets. Don't care. I like my money in the bank, not where it's on 4 wheels depreciating. Just saying. Lauren was saying something about Porsha's blended family, and she was like, her blended family is very selfish. It's like, this is all here to suit Porsha. Like,
oh yeah.
No one's able to go against her, really. You know, it's like, as long as nobody goes against her, that's how she wants to blend this family. And like, that's not
reality. No. Let's talk about Mama Gina and that her Queen of the Night. She was giving me the Whitney Houston from The Bodyguard.
Yes.
That thing on her head. She looks terrible. I'm like, why? Who did your makeup? And had you looking like that?
Wasn't great.
Didn't match. The styling didn't match. I doubt very much that a stylist put that together.
No.
I think she
not a stylist on this show. Nowhere in the bunch.
I'm like, baby girl, you was dressed up for Halloween. Like y'all was finna go to the ragtime party. Like, what is really going on?
Definitely.
I was not here for her disrespect with Porsha's grandmother, because at the end of the day, what Porsha's grandmother was saying was right.
It was.
He is a playboy, okay? He is out here in these streets, laying it low and spreading it wide.
And so, again, like we say with Martell. Yeah, like we say with Martell all the time, it's like, we got to put things in order. The reason y'all are not together is because you cheated on that woman while she was pregnant with your child. And so I will give Dennis credit, even though he is doing little petty stuff here and there, like he can't help himself. He is keeping it largely. He is keeping it cute because he knows that he is the reason why they are not together. And so he is not really pushing too much. He's like, you want me to come? You want me to be with? Fine, I'll be there. PJ's my date. Like, I'll be down to the cookout. Sure, coming. I'll be there. Like,
but their energy also gives me, we still bumping, smacking bellies on the low.
Dennis and Porsha are absolutely going to be back together. I would put money on it. I would put money on it.
This Guabadia character, I feel like he just want to be on TV. He's giving me Kanye.
With his outfit, his all white outfit with that damn denim jacket on, that patchwork denim jacket on, down to the picnic. I was like, now what do you have on, sir?
But you know, some of our people of the diaspora, it don't always be right.
Ain't nothing right about that outfit. Nothing. Porsha's family was like refreshingly just like a regular Black family. It's funny because when you see, you know, the people, you be like, God, like, what is their family like? And it's like, oh, they're ordinary, like just like the rest of our family. Like her auntie, like, well, Simon, is you gonna stay in this marriage?
Okay, you done had so many wives, you know, we just wondering. You gonna make this one work?
Yes, with the hard-hitting questions. Oh my God, that sent me. What else?
What sent me was when they that goddamn Lauren is getting on into her spirituals then. And she went to see her Sherman. It had the audacity to bring her Aunt Liz with that wig that was sitting atop her head. And Aunt Liz talked about something. She's studying to be a Sherman too. Now, y'all, I know the word is shaman. I'm being stupid. But Aunt Liz told the lady that she was studying to be a Sherman too. But when the actual Sherman started, you know, like saying that we're praying and we're calling the ancestors, and she was hitting the drum, Auntie was not having it. Auntie was like, shake these devils up off here.
No, she said, who is she calling in?
She must not know. Black people just don't be calling in spirits. We believe in demons.
We believe in demons. Girl. Then she was like, she started praying in the name of Jesus. I was like, oh,
did she start singing a hymnal?
It was a hymnal, and I was like,
I said, you know what, y'all.
I was like, you know what, I can't. By the way, if you haven't listened to our conversation about spiritual evolution, I will leave it in the cards, because we talk about this, like how the people believe, but then they just be like, no.
Sis, that's too much. That's too much. I don't believe in that part. I don't believe in that. Like, baby, you can't cherry pick. You can't pick and choose how people, you know, like do this. That's not, you know, pick and choose your way. Whatever you picking and choosing, it probably ain't right. But like,
Auntie was like, too far. Don't be calling no demons. Yeah,
like, I feel like she took one look at the Sherman and was like, "Oh, this is white. We don't want to call in your ancestors." And I suspect that lady probably is not just a white lady. Okay, like, why you did her like that?
Oh my God! You know what I just thought about? Remember that video of Paula White from Africa right now? From Africa right
now. Girl, hold on.
We're calling on spirits from Africa right now. From Africa right now.
Oh my girl, what? Who spirits is you calling on? The colonizers that went to Africa, sis? We don't want them
right now. From Africa right now. Auntie was like, nah,
not today. And then the daggone assistant that was standing in the background, and he was in I forgot what this pose is called, but he was here with it the whole time. And the poor Sherman didn't even know what the hell was going on. She just was like, you know, yes. When sis started singing, like, girl, why are you here on this? If you don't really know, if you're not down with the cause, okay, you're not down with the get down, why are you here? Why did you come?
When I tell you that scene took me down, I was like, oh, Porsha's family is regular black. Like Porsha's family. Porsha got a Southern black family just like mine. God bless her. The only thing else I had was the dentist translations on the screen. Did you see that?
What?
So every time Dennis was using some little slang terms, they had a translation on the screen.
Shut up.
So like it was in the first episode too. Yeah, in the first episode.
I mean, I remember seeing it, but I guess because I understand the lingo, it just didn't really draw me in like that.
Same, but it was funny to me. And then Porsha was like, "Okay, so what did she say? Who are these pieces and works? Who are these works and pieces? Do they have names?" I was like, yeah, Porsha. And Dennis is too old to still be talking like that. But
I mean, really and truly, is. Really and truly is. But like, so okay, let's talk. Porsha getting ready to go to dinner with her co-parent.
Porsha and Dennis gonna be back together. I'm telling you. I don't know if she's gonna make it down the aisle or what is gonna happen, but either way, they're gonna be back together.
Okay, I don't disagree with you because my thing is like, we're watching you, Porsha, go back and forth through your closet as to what exactly it is that you should wear. Why do you care so much?
Just put on some jeans and a t-shirt, like,
and move on. Like Porsha, you was really trying to dress for him, but then it was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't wear that. Maybe, and then she ended up putting on that tint of a dress, even though that is beautiful. But like Lauren said, it does make her look like she's expecting.
Yeah. So
I'm like, he already know what's up under the dress anyway. What difference do it make what you put on top of the body? No. The body is still there. He didn't see it.
He seen it.
Seen it, felt it, all of the above. Girl, if you don't dress how you normally dress, and stop playing.
And keep it pushing. That's all I have about Porsha now.
Child, me too. I don't have nothing else. Ain't nothing else.
Okay, very, very quickly. Real Housewives of OC. Heather Dubrow came in with the Fendi from head to toe.
I didn't even know it was back.
Go off, Heather. Go off, Heather. Heather collected the girls, and Kelly Dodd's unemployed ass had the nerve to be tweeting down to Watch What Happens Live, talking about, oh, Heather got on her logos from head to toe. And Heather Dubrow gathered her cutely and was like, if you don't know, there's a whole thing right now called Logomania. So yes, I was wearing logos head to toe. Y'all know I can't stand no damn Kelly Dodd. Ooh.
Don't nobody like Kelly Dodd. That's why she's no longer on the show.
But yeah, this season is actually going to be good, I think, because they have a mixed girl. She's biracial, I think.
Oh.
So
is this the first episode that came this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on episode 1. So I'm curious to see if she has better luck than Garcelle and Ebony on integrating housewives.
I wonder if Ebony even gonna make it back to the end.
I don't believe she is, because I think that Ebony is the reason why they didn't have a reunion. I think that whatever
Ebony and Ramona,
what's happening between Ebony and Ramona is why they didn't have a reunion. And also because they wanted Ramona to stay on the show, because they knew if they put her on stage with Ebony, she was going to put her foot in her mouth and they were going to have to fire her like Kelly Dodd. So I think
what Kelly Dodd did.
She's just always saying random stuff on the internet. She was talking about how like the whole Black Lives Matter, like she didn't get that. The last reunion, she was awful. And then, you know, she's married to one of the Fox News guys. So they're like anti-vax and like the whole 9 yards.
Oh yeah, that anti-vax gets you out of here. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious to see how the black lady does. I don't remember her name. And then one of the new friends on the show apparently sued Terry Dubrow at some point. So they have to decide.
Oh yeah.
So they're trying to decide when to tell Heather or how to tell Heather that happened. And then, you know, I just stand Heather.
How is it that she didn't know that already? Because if that was a lawsuit with her husband, I'm sure he told her like, hey, we're being sued.
Maybe not. I mean, to be honest, like he runs a medical facility. He has lawyers for that. It's like I'm sure he gets sued all the time. Like people are always suing for something. Like especially if they think they can get some money or like something happened. I don't know if it was like med mal. People are always trying to get some money some way somehow. So it was probably run of the mill, honestly, for him. So curious to see how that's going to play out. So I think Housewives of OC is back and is going to be that girl this season. I'm excited.
Well, I will be catching up, and hopefully you all will be watching as well. I'm going to make this request of you all. Please get down in the comments and let us know what you're watching, what you are looking forward to, and also share with us some of your holiday traditions. We have something cute coming up because we're doing Vlogmas this year. So you know the deal. We're wrapping up this show at this point. We've been on here for an hour. So if you watch all the way through to the end, you are an OG and we love you and appreciate you.
And please subscribe since you're already here.
Yes, and make some comments right on down there and get on Instagram and Twitter and follow us over there as well. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
That little soft goodbye.
Bye for now, as my grandma says. Bye for now.
See y'all later, honey.